Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Miss Joey. Hi, Ate Sas. Nice to see you.
Ayan, oo. And ngayon, so nag-file na nga sila and makita niyo naman na talagang ano, na nakita niyo yung preparation from the time na ni-release yung affidavit ni Madriaga, from the time na final yung impeachment. So hindi talaga nila tatantanan. And the timing is of course after ilabas yung survey ng WRN wherein they saw na talagang hindi nila matibag-tibag si Inday Sara. So, we really expect na ano, no, they are going to go all out against Inday Sara. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, no mga previous lives, 2026 is the election, is the Philippine election. Kapag ka na-hurdle ni Inday Sara, lahat ng pambabalahurang gagawin sa kanya ng 2026, we already have a president in 2028. Kung aabot tayo ng 2028, ano? We have a president for 2028. Yung 2026, gagawin talaga nila ang lahat para i-impeach si Inday. Kasi that's their last chance eh. Meron ba silang pera to do it, to impeach Inday? Well, may mga insertions na, ganyan. Nagdedebate sila ngayon sa DPWH, sa national budget, yung mga tinago-tago nilang mga insertion dyan, nagdedebate sila. Let's see if aabot yun in order to fund the impeachment for 2026. It's going to be more difficult than what they did under the Congress compared to the Congress under Martin Romualdez. Pero ay abala na sila diyan. Pero I'm very sure gagawin talaga nila lahat to dismantle Inday. Kasi ano eh, tawag dito, kinontak din ako nung ano eh, kinontak din ako nung yung jowa ko nung college. Tapos ano, ang tawag dito, parang nag-apologize din siya dun sa mistake niya nung kami, ganon. Doesn't mean anything. Wala naman, yung parang, ano lang, yung parang, sabi niya, kasi na-realize ngayon na, ano na tayo, medyo matanda na tayo, na-realize ko yung ginawa ko talaga sa'yo, hindi talaga okay. Ganon. Ayun, tas sobrang good lang. Yung iba kasi ganon lang eh, yung parang, they want to make sure na, hindi rin sila ngayon na nasa tamang pag-iisip na sila, na-realize nila na mali pala yung ginawa nila noon, ganon. So, well, I think it's really more of him na kailangan niyang gawin yon so that he would not feel guilty. So that's why he contacted me to apologize do sa ginawa niya nung kami ay mga musma.
Lalo na yung I think it takes for a guy to be that mature. Kasi yung una ko ring jowa, ganun eh. After 10 years.
After 10 years, nag-ano, oo.
Parang kinontak niya ako because he's going through something in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And ang ano niya is, 2 tao lang daw nakakakilala sa kanya ng lubos.
Isa ka doon. Kasi isa nanay niya.
Hindi.
Kasi isa nanay niya.
Siyempre, hindi nanay niya. Someone. Hindi ko lang sabihin.
Someone else. Okay.
Siyempre, pamilya.
Uh-huh.
And then, tapos yun, kinontak niya ako. May ano pa nun, Yahoo Messenger. That was, 2019, 2010. Ay, 2010. 2019 tuloy. 2010. Mm-hmm. And then, ayun, nag-ano siya. Nung kinausap niya ako, humingi ng advice. Tapos, bilan na lang niya siningit. Uy, sa story pala. Saan? Kasi feeling ko talaga ako yung dahilan. Ako yung masama doon sa relasyon. Yun talaga ang feeling ko, ako talagang guilty. Sabi niya, ay ko saan? Sabi niya, parang bigla na lang daw siyang nawala. Ha? Sabi ko, parang hindi ko naman naramdaman na bigla.
Hindi naman nag-matter, Char. Hindi naman nag-matter. Pero nung panahon na yun, nagtatanong ka din, no? I'm sure.
Hindi kasi nung panahon na yun, maayos yung breakup namin.
Okay.
Hindi yung, di ba, today magbe-break kayo, tapos tomorrow hindi na kayo magkikita. Nakapag-break siya, kaya nagkikita pa rin kami. Nagkikita pa rin kami, oy, manood tayo ng sine, ganyan. Pero parang, parang, just enjoy each other's company, ganyan. Oy, manood tayo ng sine, ganyan. Pero meron na siyang nililigaw ang iba noon. Pero, we still meet. Girl, ako pa yung gumawa nung kinasal yung kapatid niya. Kasi, marunong ako maggawa ng mga bouquet-bouquet nung panahon na yun. Ako pa gumawa ng ng mga bulaklak sa kasal, yung flower arrangement, ganyan. So parang hindi ko talaga naramdaman. So parang it wasn't tapos yun. Pero nagulat talaga ako ha, parang siguro feeling niya bigla siyang nawala. Ako talaga hindi. So yun yung guilt niya na bigla na lang niya akong iniwan sa ere. Pero hindi ko naramdaman. Pero I think naramdaman niya yung na ganun kasi talagang kasi siya sa akin very all in kasi siya sa akin Siguro naramdaman niya yung void na biglang nag-drop yung energy even though na ang tagal-tagal pero walang biglang nawala.
Oo.
Ikaw,
So,
anong point of
nagtatanong
view?
si Mike. Ano? Sakto lang, pero kasi 'di ba, marriage is a promise, 'di ba, for sickness and health, ganyan. Tapos yung merong vow ng faithfulness, may vow na hindi iiwanan kahit anong mangyari, mga gano'n. So parang takot ako diyan. Tangina bakit ko ang hirap ng pangako 'Di ba, di ko magagawa 'yan. So parang ayoko mag-promise kung di ko magagawa. So parang for me, dapat gawin mo na lang, 'di ba? There are so many instances na na-observe ko, sa totoo lang. There are so many instances na na-observe ko na yung mga tao, especially sa lalaki 'no, kasi tawag dito usually lalaki yung may problema sa faithfulness 'di ba? Gano'n. Hindi naman sinasabing yung mga babae hindi faithful Pero tawag dito parang, 'di ba yung in sickness and in health, tapos yung pagiging faithful, ganyan, tapos yung gagampanan yung mga marital obligations, things like that, ganyan. I remember, meron akong fraternity brother noon na babaero kasi, super babaero kasi siya. So syempre hindi niya na nagagawa yung pangako niya na magiging faithful sa asawa niya, ganyan. So it really brought pain dun sa relationship. It really brought So eventually yung asawa niya nag-ask na mag-annul na lang tayo kasi 'di ba para natin pinapahirapan yung isa't isa ganyan. So okay pa rin sila kung they stayed friends, sobrang amicable nung relationship, nag-co-parent sila, ganyan. And then eventually yung babae nagka-cancer. So nung nagka-cancer yung babae, yung fraternity brother ko, kinuha niya yung ex-wife niya. Siya yung nag-alaga, siya yung inalagaan niya ng bonggang-bongga, lahat nung kailangan nung wife niya, ganyan, ex-wife niya.
Pero may jowa na siya noon, di ba?
Hindi, nang bababae lang siya. Pero nung kinuha niya uli yung ex-wife niya, naging sila na lang ulit. Kumbaga parang tinigil niya na yung pambababae niya kasi na-busy siya dun sa ex-wife niya Ganon, na-busy siya. Tapos eventually, ayun, so ginampanan niya talaga lahat and parang umabot rin ng isang dekada yung situation until namatay na yung babae.
10 years na 10 years na bedridden or something like that?
Oo, na nagagamutan, na ganon. Ayun.
Oh, wow.
Kasi talagang binuhos niya talaga lahat. Lahat ng possible na medication, lahat ng yung anything that would really extend the life of the ganon. So syempre, 'di ba, parang who's going to do that to you? Tangina, 'di ba? Yun yung parang sa akin, hindi na sila married noon. Hindi na sila married noon, pero
baka act of contrition. Alam mo yun, baka act of alam mo yun, you would like to say sorry but you would like to show it through service na
maybe but I'll take that any day, 'di ba? I'll take that any day kaysa dun sa nag-promise ka na, 'di ba? Dun sa nag-promise ka na papakasalan mo or whatever, ganyan. So ngayon, I felt na yung kung kunwari yung gusto mong mahalin yung isang tao, pakita mo na lang, 'di ba? Pakita mo na lang and do it consistently.
Ako for me yung ano bang view ko dyan sa marriage? Ako, if you I want it for just for the romantic reasons. yung the ceremony, yung ganyan. Oo, yung mga ganyan. Pero other than that, you can actually already live together without the paper. Alam mo yun? Pero I think kasi yung what's this? Siguro kung gusto mo magkaanak, kailangan mo mag-asawa. Pero, I don't know, maybe, some people maybe not, or whatever. I don't know. Kasi for me, there is no difference between marriage and being in a relationship without marriage.
Mhm.
Whatever is whoever you are in your relationship before marriage, and what you need to accomplish during marriage, I think they should just be the same.
Mm.
Hindi siya yung okay, dahil hindi pa naman tayo kasal, magaganito muna ako, ganyan. Pag kinasal na tayo, saka ako magbabago. Ako hindi.
Oo.
For
Oo.
me kasi commitment is commitment.
Correct,
So,
correct. Yes,
so
agree,
alam mo
agree.
yon, ako yun ang position kaya. Commitment is commitment. If you would like to commit with me and then I would like to commit with you, seryosohin natin yun. Kasi parang, Dex, parang, bakit tayo magkukommit? Eh kung ayaw naman pala natin sundin, di ba? Kasi for me kasi na parang, if it's a commitment, then we agree that we are going to enter in a new phase in our lives wherein there's another thing that would matter, and that is our relationship. Now we will all do everything in order to
To make it work. Oo.
to nurture, to make our relationship better. So if you're not, if in yung marriage, it's just the same thing. You have to do the same thing. Pero hindi naman ako hihindi kung halimbawa maging jowa ko tapos
Mag-propose
nagmamahalan
later.
kami ng buong buot dalisay, niyayain akong pakasal. Gugo ako, no?
Oo,
Eh,
why
dahil-
not?
dahil
Correct.
Dream ko talagang mag-wedding gown. Charot.
Oo, oo. Yeah. I was about to say that yung romantic aspect kasi syempre 'di ba the entourage, the dressing
Yeah.
up, the announcement
I
to the
love
world.
dressing up kasi. So parang
Oo.
yun yung isang magandang, wala lang, siguro kung magpapakasal because yung tipong, o ano, magpakasal na tayo para para ito na lang kulang, ganyan. Yung gusto ko yung gano'n lang na natural, na wala lang drama-drama na
Oo.
may pa-suspense, ganyan. Yung tipong naramdaman niyo na lang, ay pakasal na lang tayo para tapos na yung parang yun na lang yung kulang. Yung gano'n, yung kulang yung progression. So, pero for me, there's no difference when you're married or whether you're not, when you're married or not married and you're in a relationship. A commitment is a commitment. Masakit yun, ha? Hindi ba kayo nasasaktan pag meron kayong commitment na hindi niyo nagagawa? Ako kasi nagigilty ako, eh.
Oo.
Kahit anong commitment pa yan.
Yung pag hindi mo parang na-deliver yung sinabi mo, gano'n. Ayun.
Yes. Lalo na halimbawa, hindi lang sa relasyon. Merong pang, halimbawa, so nag-work ako, 3 years yung contract ko dun sa university sa Netherlands. So may dumating na opportunity to work for the government sa Philippines. Hindi pa tapos yung contract ko. Sabi ko, ayoko po kasi na hindi tinatapos yung contract. Pero I can get out of the contract. So, sabi ko lang, gusto ko mong tapusin yung kontrata, ganyan. So, hanggang hindi na natuloy yung eksena na yon. So, ayan, pakitin niyo si Daniel lang para makakuha tayo ng point of view ng
Gen Z, ayan.
Gen Alpha.
Ayan.
Ay, Gen
Nasa
Z.
inbox mo na
Gen Z.
Daniel. Nasa inbox mo na.
So nagigets yung sinasabi ko na marriage is, kasi the more you think so much about, marriage na kasi, ganyan. I think the more that you would lose sight of what it really is. Kasi if you really think that there's a difference between when you're married and when you're not married, you're not supposed to be married. Kasi kailangan, ang alam, dapat ang mentality for me, you should know the difference between when you are in a committed relationship and you're not.
Not correct. Yes. Yun yung reckoning point. Are you committed in that relationship or not? Diba?
Or not. So, ngayon, if you commit, diba? If you start to commit, you have to fulfill your commitment. And you don't need a judge or a priest in order for them to solemnize the commitment. That's already your commitment. So, kaya kung hindi mo magagawa yung, if you're not gonna be good at in fulfilling your commitments in this, you don't know how to handle commitment, then yun yung problema. Marriage will not be able to fix it.
Correct. May mga nagsasabi kanina yung ang tawag dito, yung nangyari doon sa, kinuwento ko yung sa fraternity brother ko na, ang tawag dito, baka guilt, sympathy lang, ganyan. Yung mga ganong etos. Pero, ang tawag dito, kasi Kasi ano naman eh, tapos na yung relationship eh, supposedly. Tapos na wala naman na siyang wala na siyang actually, wala nang point para mag-guilty ka kasi ang humingi naman nung annulment is yung babae, hindi naman siya eh, 'di ba? So ngayon, since nag-annul na sila, supposedly wala ka na dapat niyang hindi ka naman na alam mo yun, yung hindi ka na pwedeng wala ka nang gawin eh kasi supposedly tapos na siya. Ganon. Pagka sobrang tagal niyo na sa relationship, and you're going to, let's say sabihin natin, ma-feel mo yung guilt or ma-feel mo yung sympathetic. Kasi ano na yan eh, iba't ibang feelings na yung mararamdaman mo, hindi na yung parang nung una pa lang kayong mag-meet. 'Di ba?
May
Ngayon,
anak
if you're
ba sila?
going to
May anak ba sila?
Ha?
May anak ba sila? May
Meron,
anak ba sila
meron.
nun?
Oo, oo.
Ako, baka feeling ko, that was the time that he realized that he is caring for the mother of his children.
Yeah, oo, oo.
It's not sympathy. I think he realized na this is the mother of my children.
Yeah.
Of course, the father. Well, most father love their children. Not all, but most father love their children. And then when you love your children, of course, your children have a mother.
Correct. Oo.
So feeling ko talaga that was the spark na alam yung tipong shit, nanay ito ng mga anak ko.
Oo.
Di ba? Kasi girl, can you imagine? Siguro naisip din niya naisip din niya siguro yung iisipin ng mga anak niya na pag hindi niya ginawa yun, na parang, part of it, maybe he didn't want.
Isn't that the purpose of marriage, di ba? To think about it, that
the family.
As a mother of your children, di ba? You to think about the situation at a familial level.
Yeah.
Di ba? You're not just thinking about it na between you and me lang, di ba?
So feeling ko talaga, nakita niya na, this is the voice of conscience na siguro nakita niya na nanay ng mga anak niya yan.
Yeah, oo. Yun pag nag-commit ka, you wanted to build a family, you wanted to, di ba? You want to culminate whatever relationship that you have and to turn it into something bigger. So ngayon, pag kunwari, na kayo, tinanggap mo na, family na kayo, and things like, hindi ba nandun yung commitment? Di ba? So parang sa akin, taking back
parang bata pa siguro yung babae nung namatay.
Medyo. Hindi rin. Parang mga middle age na sila. Ganun.
30s?
40s. Ganun. Mga approaching 50. Mas matanda sa akin. Mas matanda.
I think yan. I really think na he wants to take care of the mother of his children. That's the level of, yun na yung love doon na parang they build something together. This is the mother of his children. And so parang siguro nakita mo naman niya kung paano pinalaki ng asawa niya yung mga anak niya.
Correct.
So parang it's a way of giving. Saka girl, hello. Kung ikaw yung lalaki, do you really want your children to see that your mother is suffering while your father don't care?
Yeah, Ayun.
Siguro ayaw niya malagay sa ganong sitwasyon kasi his wife is gonna be gone, but he's going to deal with his children far much longer.
And for me, that's the commitment in building family, di ba? That's your commitment when you get married and you want to build a family. That is the promise that you have to deliver, di ba? So kaya parang sa akin parang pagka kunwari hindi sila kinasal pero may anak sila, will it change? Hindi rin, di ba? Dapat hindi rin, di ba? So kaya yun, kaya parang sa akin, pagka kunwari mahal yung isa't isa at committed ka dun sa relation, gawin mo na lang, 'di ba? Gawin mo na lang. Yung seremonya, yung wedding ceremony, yung mga ganyan. It's nice to have. Pero I put more value on the commitment, on the ganon. So yun yung point of view ko diyan. Ayun. Sabi ni Pay Tots, na-realize niya at a certain point in his life, that was the woman he chose to spend the rest of his life with. Their story may not have ended as expected, but I'm running out of characters. Grabe naman. Ayan. Okay. So anyway, Daniel, asan ka na? Akyat ka na, teka. Ayan, napag-usapan na natin si Inday. Ayan. Okay. Transition na tayo sa pinaggagawa kay Inday. couple of days ago, 2 days ba? 2 days, 3 days ago, nag-file ng impeachment sila Father Flavi, si Robert Reyes, yung mga yellows na typical na mga characters. And by the way isa dito is sa convener of Tindig Pilipinas and Every Woman. Both ng organization na yon ay NED funded organization. Ayan, okay? Ang mga complainant ay si Father Flaviano Villanueva, Father Robert Reyes, Teresita Quintos Deles. Teresita Quintos Deles is founding convener ng Every Woman at ng Tindig Pilipinas. And alam natin, ang Tindig Pilipinas at ang Every Woman ay tumatanggap ng pondo mula sa NED. Ayan. Sylvia Estrada Claudio, Shelo Magno, Christopher Cabahug, Matthew Christian Silverio, youth leader to. John Lloyd Crisostomo is also a youth leader. Tapos si Christopher Cabahug ay screenwriter, author, and journalist daw. Tapos ay kilala niyo naman si Shelo Magno. Si Robert Reyes yung running priest. Yes, Happy Fam, siya na nga. Miss Joey, does this not fall under political interference, accepting foreign funds for political interference? Well, dapat. Who will dare question? Diba? Who will dare question? Ayun. Ganun nga, kaya nga dapat itong mga grupong to, pinapakita nila, dapat klaro sila kung saan nagagaling yung mga pera nila. Diba? Dapat pinapublicize nila yan Kasi kung meron kang, your activity are all very political. Pagkatapos, tumatanggap ka ng foreign funds. So, diba? Ano yun? Hindi mo naman mahihiwalay yan na parang hindi, ang fund lang is for good governance, kineme, ganyan. Sabihin na natin na ganun. Meron kang mga issues about promoting good governance, kineme. Kaso, dahil yung political activity na iba. How sure are you na yung pera mo, ginagamit mo lang, yung pera matatanggap mo sa NED, ay ginagamit mo lang for certain things na hindi political persecution? Diba? Hindi natin alam. And for me, dapat talaga kino-question sila dyan. Ayun. Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Miss Joey. Hi, Ate Sas. Nice to see you.
Ayan. Oo. And ngayon, so nag-file na nga sila. And makita nyo naman na talagang, nakita nyo yung preparation from the time na ni-release yung affidavit ni Madriaga, from the time na final yung impeachment. So, hindi talaga nila tatantanan. And the timing is, of course, after ilabas yung survey ng WRN, wherein they saw na talagang hindi nila matibag-tibag si Inday Sara. So, we really expect na they are going to go all out against Inday Sara. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, no mga previous lives, 2026 is the Philippine election. Kapag ka na-hurdle ni Inday Sara, lahat ng pambabalahurang gagawin sa kanya ng 2026, we already have a president in 2028. Kung aabot tayo ng 2028, we have a president for 2028. Yung 2026, gagawin talaga nila ang lahat para i-impeach si Inday. Kasi that's their last chance meron ba silang pera to do it, to impeach Inday? Well, may mga insertions na, ganyan. Nagdedebate sila ngayon sa DPWH, sa national budget, yung mga tinago-tago nilang mga insertion dyan, nagdedebate sila. Let's see if aabot yun in order to fund the impeachment for 2026. It's going to be more difficult than what they did under the Congress compared to the Congress under Martin Romualdez. Pero abala na sila dyan. Pero I'm very sure gagawin talaga nila lahat to dismantle Inday. Even if the impeachment is not going to prosper, they will make sure that they're going to put a dent in the public image of Inday para mabawasan yung popularity niya. So that is why now more than ever, we need to be discerning. We need to be out in order to push back do sa narrative na gagawin nila against Inday Sara. Hindi nila yan tatantanan. At lahat ng issue palalakihin nila. Even the yung mga talagang sobrang walang kalatoy-latoy na mga issues na gusto nila ikagalit ng tao against her. Ayun. So, ang lang dito, ang nakakaloka lang dito, after mag-file ng impeachment complaint, so kitang-kita naman yung mga partido na nag-participate dito sa impeachment ni Inday, yellow-pink. 'Di ba? Yellow-pink, gano'n. Usually, dati kasi, ramdam na ramdam mo yung ano, no? Yung mga yellow-pink, ramdam na ramdam mo na yung, alam mo yun, yung kapag sumuntok sila, susuntok din yung BBM admin. 'Di ba? Kumbaga parang somehow, may suportahang nangyayari. Okay? Yung isang viewer natin nagsabi dito, bukas daw magkakaroon ng press conference si Boying Rimulya, magsasalita daw siya about dito sa case, ganyan. Pero medyo medyo kakaiba to, no, na it took them few days bago nagsalita si Boying Rimulya. Bukas makikita natin, supportive ba ang BBM admin? Nakapag-isip-isip na ba sila? Nakapag-isip-isip na ba? Susuportahan ba nila to? Ano ba gagawin nila dito? Ganyan.
Bakit kailangan niyang mag-press conference? Ombudsman siya.
It's Boying Rimulya.
Kailangan parati eksena.
Kailangan parati eksena. Ayun. So, tingnan natin. Actually, ano naman to talagang all we can do right now is to push back Yung mga kaso ni Inday, a lot of it, yung mga complaints na inano kay Inday dito, no? A lot of it, wala naman talagang, like for example, kino-question nila bakit may confidential fund ng civilian agency. Bakit sa Inday ang questionin ninyo? Ba't hindi nyo questionin yung nagbigay at yung nag-alam? Di ba? No, tawag dito, BBM, because he's the one who approved the confidential funds of Inday. 'Di ba? Pagkatapos, sino ba yung nagbigay ng confidential funds sa DepEd? Sino ba nag-approve nun? The Congress. Bakit hindi nyo ginawang defendant yung Congress? 'Di ba? If you are serious in asking those questions, dapat sinama nyo. 'Di ba? Dapat sinama nyo yung mga So, kitang-kita talaga dun sa mga issues na ni-raise nila doon sa OMB complaint na final na it's really not about
nakita niya walang bago. Malinis kasi si Inday. Kaya girl, kung madumi si Inday, baka hindi pa ulit-ulit ang issue.
Correct.
3 years
Paulit-ulit lang yung issue.
Confidential funds lang Confidential funds lang yung
wala na yan. Tapos ang ano nila, kailangan niyang buksan ang bank account niya kasi para makita kung nagnakaw siya. Bakla. Kung ang magnanakaw,
ebidensya.
Phishing.
Wala silang ebidensya. Bakla. Ang mga nagnanakaw sa gobyerno, ano bang ginawa nila kay Binay? Di ba meron pa silang pinakita nila yung farm na malaki,
yung tigiri na aircon.
In-invite pa nila yung may-ari, yung anong tawag nito, yung proxy. Di ba? Na ganun ang magnanakaw. Alam ng mga Pilipino kung paano magnakaw sa Pilipinas dahil sanay na sila sa mga magnanakaw na politiko. Wala silang makita. Wala silang makitang properties. Wala lahat. So, ibig sabihin, ganun sila. They have nothing against Inday. And I'm very confident that they have nothing against Inday. And kahit PRRD nga, wala nilabas nila yung salin, nag-backfire pa sa kanila.
Toro! Di ba parang, nangyari na pero ni PRRD. yan kasi napapala ng maraming jowa.
Ayan si Daniel.
Yes, Daniel.
Yeah, Miss Jo, I wanted to ask a question na may isang tanong lang ako sana about. Di ba last year, yung Congress, di ba may Committee on Good Governance sila, may Quadcom sila para investigahan daw yung confidential funds ni VP. I remember na palaging ini-emphasize ni VP na dapat yung investigation nila in aid of legislation. Now, kung yung nila is problema nila is yung confidential funds nga for civilian agencies. Yan yung parati ni-raise ni Heidi Mendoza na yung civilian agencies daw na bawal you shouldn't have confidential funds. Yung tanong ko, Ms. Joey, is meron pa silang nag-pass yung mga congressman ng Quadcom or Committee on Good Governance. Nag-file pa sila ng bill to abolish confidential funds para to give at least the appearance na yung mga persecution nila is neutral or for accountability. Meron po ba? Nag-file ba sila?
They filed a bill on how to handle confidential funds.
Okay.
So parang yung sa bill na yon, andun sila si Barber, si Baby Boy Tambi Ortega, si J. Kong Hoon, si Abante, Stella Kimbo, yung usual cast. Nag-file sila ng bill, and what they wanted is that magkaroon ng criminal liability yung SDO kapag ka hindi niya ma-account kung sino yung mga binigyan niya ng voucher. Pagka hindi niya kunwari, hindi siya kunwari yung ang tawag dito, kasi yung SDO, yung Special Disbursing Officer, according to them, dapat daw si Special Disbursing Officer, siya daw talaga mismo ang nagbibigay ng pera doon sa supposedly merong confidential information. Ganon.
Kasi yung issue nila is bakit yung dalawang colonel daw ang nag-disburse.
Yes. Yung sila yung kumausap doon sa mga informants, yung mga uniform So parang sabi nila, bawal yan. Kasi ang dapat si SDO ang nagbibigay ng pera sa Kinembot, ganyan. And, well, kumbaga gusto kasi nilang itrap doon si VP na kung paano pinrocess ni VP yung confidential funds sa OPP. Ang problem is walang sense of practicality yung bill na yon. Kasi talagang I don't think may papayag ng uniform personnel na gano'n ang mangyayari. Ang Special Disbursing Officer, usually, ang sweldo lang yan parang siguro nasa 40,000, 35,000 pesos. And if you're going to require that the disbursing officer is the one to hand out the voucher, kung sino yung informant, kung sino yung involved dun sa confidential operation, okay? Basically, what they're trying to do is, si Special Disbursing Officer ay magiging default person na involved sa lahat ng mga confidential information, intelligence operation ng gobyerno. Ibig sabihin, privy na siya. Ibig sabihin, ilalagay mo yung buhay.
Gusto nila civilian yung SDO, ganun ba yun? Gusto nila civilian yung SDO?
No, civilian naman talaga yung SDO. But it's just that they didn't realize that they're putting a lot of responsibility doon sa SDO. Pero gagawin mo siyang part ng confidential operation. Kasi gusto mo siya yung magbibigay. Kunwari, merong informant na kunwari, Joey Cruz, informant, ganyan. So ngayon, malalaman ni SDO na ako pala yung informant ng ganito na. Ito pala yung,
okay.
Diba?
So nakalagay sa peligro yung buhay din nila, yung informant. Kasi yung SDO, civilian lang.
So kung kunwari ako, sindikato ako, at alam ko na ino-operate ako ng gobyerno, diba? O di kaya parang, merong anti-drug sa campaign tong gobyerno. Sino kaya yung mga nito? Sino kaya yung mga rats nitong gobyernong to? Kikidnapin ko na lang sa SDO. Para tatanungin ko sa SDO, sino mga pinagbababayaran mo? SDO, sino mga pinagbabayaran?
Mas mahirap yun kung yung kernel, no? Mas mahirap yun kung, like what you said, privy na siya sa yung intelligence operation. It's much better if sila talagang
hindi na siya confidential, hindi na magiging intelligence yung operation kasi meron kang isang tao na lagi mong dine-default na kasama sa lahat ng operations. Biruin mo, hindi na baliw yung SDO na yan. Diba? Hindi na baliw yung SDO na yan. Biruin mo lahat ng sensitive operation ng gobyerno, kasama siya.
Yun.
Diba?
Another thing, Miss Joey and Ate Sas, if you could also let us know what you think about the subject. Kasi one of the points raised by Cello Magno is minamadali niya yung investigation ng Department of National Defense. Yung results ng investigation ng DND at ni Gibo. Yung dalawang colonel na yung SDO daw, sinasabi nila sila yung SDO, yung Special Disbursement Officer. So one of the points raised by Cello Magno is dapat Gibo should release the results of the DND's investigation on the two colonels that VP assigned to release the confidential funds. At yung resulta daw ay magbabackupan yung nila, yung plunder or whatever case they have against VP. What do we think about that?
It proves that Cello Magno,
they don't have an evidence
in their possession. So ikaw, Cello Magno, sa totoo lang, 'di ba? Sa totoo lang, Cello Magno, ikaw, wag mong tinatanga ang sambayan ng Pilipino. Wala ka palang hawak na ebidensya, kang pota ka. What are you doing? Pagkatapos, ang tawag dito? Kuda ka ng kuda dyan. Misuse, ganito, mali yung ginawa, ganyan. How would you know? Wala ka palang hawak na ebidensya. Diba? Ako sa akin lang for someone who has PhD, as part of their curriculum vitae. It's unforgivable. Nagagawa ka ng mga ganitong bagay. Na you have allegations, you have already filed case to people. Tapos wala ka palang hawak. Diba? This should have been part of your submission to the ombudsman. Diba? And sa totoo lang, ito pa ang isa, Michelle Magno, okay? Did you ever call for the declassification of Inday Sara's confidential fund? Bakit hindi mo yung ginagawa? Ayaw mo, kasi pagka ginawa mo yan, makakaaway mo lahat ng uniform personnel across the board. Kaya hindi mo yung ginagawa. Kasi kung gusto mong i-reveal ng DND or whoever na nag-investigate dyan sa confidential funds ni Inday, ang first na question mo dapat dyan, ang first na lobby mo dyan dapat is i-declassify yung confidential fund ni Inday. So that we can talk about it in public. Ba't hindi mo yung ginagawa yung very, very important step na yan? Why?
They can ask
Because
the
you're
president.
going to make...
They can ask the president.
Yeah, ask the president about it. You do not want to do that because makakalaban mo ang sangkaterbang tao sa gobyerno. And you do not want to make unnecessary enemies. You just want to make, you just want Inday to suffer dito sa political persecution ninyo.
Yes.
So, makita mo, dyan palang wala ng sincerity itong advocacy nito ni, itong pinaglalaban na ito ni Michelle Magno eh. Supot na supot. Diba? Fake advocate. Political persecutor ka lang. Wala kang pinaglalaban. Wala kang pinaglalaban, madam. Diyos ko.
So yung tanong ngayon is, if assuming na tapos na yung investigation ng DND at ni Gibo, will they release impartial results? Or they will skewer it to para magmukhang masama si VP na may kalokohan dun sa dalawang colonel involved in their involvement sa pag-disburse ng confidential funds. Will Gibo do that?
Mahaba pa kasi yan kasi sa totoo lang I think pati si Gibo magdadalawang isip diyan kasi makakaaway rin niya talaga yung makakaaway rin niya talaga yung mga uniform personnel diyan parang ilalabas mo yan itong mga confidential kinemot ilalabas mo yan talaga ganyan marami siyang makakaaway diyan kasi it will set precedent do sa mga susunod na treatment sa confidential and intelligence funds ng MIUs and ng government. So, I do not know how Gibo is going to do it, how they're going to treat this, ganyan. Baka magtanga-tangahan sila ng sagad. Pero, they cannot do it without making enemies.
Kasi, Miss Joey, Ate Sas, maraming intel agent namamatay this year. Last year and this year. I think 2 or 3 or 4. Maraming intel agents na mamatay because of this culture na gusto nilang gawing open, yung hindi dapat gawing open or transparency, itong confidential funds, intel agents na, it involves national security. Pero yung like what you said, yung fake advocacy niya, Miss Joey, why don't they demand na pati yung pangalan ng mga intel agents at yung identities ng mga informants ng Office of the President, DND, why don't they call for their unmasking rin, di ba? Bakit yung intel agents or informant EVP. Ba't ganyan?
Correct. Ayun. And ang main problem kasi nila dyan is that dapat raw walang confidential funds si Inday Sara. But if that is your major question, kung ang major question mo is yung paghawak ni Inday Sara ng confidential funds, then you blame the Congress and you blame the President. Kasi yung confidential fund ni Inday Sara sa DepEd, it's a grant from Congress. Yung confidential fund ni Inday Sara sa OVP, it is a grant coming from the Office of the President. So, hindi naman yan, kahit magtututuwad si Inday at manghingi siya ng confidential fund 24/7, 365 days, kung hindi siya bibigyan, hindi siya magkakaroon. Pero binigyan siya. So, ibig sabihin, the Congress at that time saw value in the proposal of Inday Sara to have a confidential fund and the program that she intend to use the confidential funds on, ay nagkaroon. Diba? Same with the President. Nung humingi siya ng budget sa Office of the President at binigyan siya ng Office of the President ng confidential fund, ibig sabihin, nakita ng Office of the President na may value yung programa ni Inday.
Miss Joey,
confidential project na she wanted to undertake.
Yeah. Miss Joey, I wanted to revisit kasi meron kang isang post last year. I think malapit na 1 year yung post mo. And I think it is, we should bring this up, as part of yung pushback, possible po ba na itong mga tao ng COA, yung Intelligence Confidential Funds Audit Office ng COA, for example, yung team leader nila, si Attorney Camora, do you think na, we never know, baka because of pressure, monetary, we never know, babaliktad ba po yan? Kasi nag-testify na siya under oath na may documentary evidence, regularity naman. Do you think there's a chance itong mga official ng COA na nag-audit sa confidential funds, nagsabi naman sila na no problem naman, regularity, babaliktad po ba sila? Is it possible? Because of pressure, whatever.
Everything is possible. Sa totoo lang, everything is possible.
Kasi may statement si Dan Fernandez that time nung sa hearing. Sinabi na yung team leader ng COA, sabi niya, it was spent in 132 locations, may documentary evidence. Tapos itong si Dan Fernandez at that time, sinabi niya, you are lying. Hindi ka auditor, you are lying. Wala nga siyang counter or rebuttal eh. Sinabi, you are lying. So syempre natatakot rin sila, tao rin naman. And I think we should consider na baka possible na it's not below them, no, na i-cooperate sila.
Actually Daniel, yung last year pa lang, yung the mere fact na nag-furnish yung COA ng mga submissions ni Inday sa House of Representatives, something is really wrong with COA already.
Kahit hindi pa tapos yung audit, no, binigay na nila.
Oo, ba't nila binigay yung mga submissions ng
I think you described it as naging politicized na rin yung COA to some extent, no, sa ginawa nilang yun.
Oo, definitely. Ayun. So ngayon, in relation dun sa question mo na posible bang magkaroon ng baligtaran, well, oo, nagawa nga ng COA na, diba, nahilot nga nila na mag-submit yung COA ng mga submissions ni Inday, i-furnish siya ng COA ang House of Representatives ng mga submissions ni Inday. Di ba nga, they read the letter of Attorney Solica with regards to the confidential funds, yung mga submission, yung mga Mary Grace Piatos, yung mga ganyan.
Paano nila nakuha yung letter na yun, no, Miss Joey? How did they obtain that letter of OVP to the COA, hindi ba? How did they obtain that?
Sinabpina nila yung COA, pagkatapos yung COA, nag-comply sila dun sa sabpina.
Oh.
Sige, sinabpina mo kami, di ganyan. Pero ang point dun kasi, pwede naman manindigan si COA na, or pwede naman niya i-submit, tapos pwede niya sabihin na, etong mga to, it should be treated, it can only be discussed during the executive session. Kasi confidential yun eh.
Yun
diba? The mere fact that COA just gave all of this document to the House of Representatives, sila mismo, ni-remove nila yung yung confidentiality, yung confidentiality nung confidential funds na yan. Ganon. Well, I hope they get sued in the future kasi parang may batas tayo dyan eh, na hindi yan dapat nire-reveal sa public eh, pagka-confidential eh.
Yeah. Miss Sas, Ate Sas, there is this, may nakita akong comment na they were responding to what you were saying, Miss Sas, about yung dapat under the law daw dapat i-liquidate yung public funds before the year ends. Now, meron comment responding to you. I don't have the screenshot with me, pero ang sinabi ng comment na yun na pwede naman ilagay sa surplus or hindi naman kailangan i-liquidate all in the year or hindi naman kailangan i-utilize lahat ng funds for that year. So, Ms. Sas, I wanted to ask you, what's your rebuttal to that? Kasi may nakita mo ganyan. Hindi daw kailangan liquidate eh.
Sino nasabi hindi kailangan i-utilize for the fiscal year ang...
I'll find the screenshot, pero yun yung direct response niya sa'yo na kasi meron kang post before, may viral post na under the law, which is correct naman, under the law, kailangan mo liquidate per year. Pero I think si Romeo Acop, he's one of those who was saying that, na kailangan, na pwede naman ilagay daw yun sa surplus or whatever, hindi naman kailangan 100% utilization. So yung line of reasoning nila.
Yung liquidation can happen beyond the fiscal year. Pero yung utilization, dapat gawin mo yan within the set fiscal year kung kailan mo pinangako na i-implement yung projects mo. Kasi makaka-apekto yun sa absorption rate nila at sa utilization rate nila.
Kasi yun yung ano nila eh. Focus nila dun sa 11 days. Pero hindi nila nililinaw na yung 11 days po ba na kasama dun sa timeline na binigay ng OVP that this is the set date that we will accomplish nung projects. Hindi yan malinaw eh. So, dahil sa ambiguity ngayon, they're saying na, naging intel, nasa PNP ako dati na hindi naman kailangan mag-liquidate until before the year ends. So, meron silang year and fiscal year na hindi nila differentiate. They're not differentiating that.
yung liquidation, iba yung liquidation dun sa utilization. Yung utilization, kailangan nilang i-utilize yan within the period na pinangako nilang i-utilize yan.
Mm.
Yung liquidation is, yun yung documentation ng utilization mo. So
Okay.
ngayon, yung utilization, it may happen, you may complete it beyond dun sa fiscal year na pinangako mong i-implement mo yung project. Kasi, mas ano yun, kasi after the ano yun, minsan hindi pa tapos yung project so hindi ka talaga makakapag-liquidate. Diba? Hindi pa tapos yung project. So, ayun, so parang ang weird lang ng mga ibang nagtatanong na,
Yeah,
hindi kailangan,
if I'm not mistaken.
magkaibang ano yun, magkaibang activity yun yung liquidation at saka yung implementation. Magkaibang activity yun. So, are they referring to the liquidation? Are they referring to the implementation?
Yung my understanding nung sinabi niya is, kahit na yung 125, for example, yung 125 million. So, 11 days before the year ends kasi December 30, 31 yun eh. Sabi nila, pwede naman ilagay sa surplus, surplus or whatever, na hindi naman kailangan
Hindi siya surplus.
Hindi siya
Hindi
surplus.
siya surplus.
Kasi ang surplus lang mangyayari kung na-utilize mo na tapos sabi mo, ay, nakasave ako kasi ito lang pala yung presyo. Nakatipid kami ng materials, nakatipid kami ng ganito. Yun ang surplus.
Okay. Thank you.
Pero yung sasabihin mo na may pera ka, may budget ka dyan, tapos sabi mo, ay, surplus to. Bakla hindi yan surplus, unutilized fund yan.
Correct. Unutilized budget yan. And unutilized budget is a badge of bad performance.